recording? Okay. My name is Manisha Jones, and this is an interview for my ENC 1101 class. It's basically going over discourse communities at the moment, and I'm interviewing a family member, my uncle, Jamel Jones, and we're just going to we're gonna be going through actually what a discourse community is and mechanisms of intercommunication that he uses through his discourse community. And a discourse community is basically a group of people who have a common goal or a set purpose for another group of people, or how they interact and how they interact with others. And also mechanisms of intercommunication, which are how they communicate with each other in the different forms that they use to communicate with each other. So you can go ahead and say what you do.
I'm Jamel Jones, and I'm a football coach at Hagerty High School. I'm also the assistant pastor of the Church of Higher Praise in Orlando, Florida. Both of my job consists of working with people closely, getting to know them personally, their families, their friends, the ins and outs about their lives, and figuring out a way to in football to defeat the offense, and with preaching to figuring out a way to defeat things that people may go through in life. So both of them is about game planning and planning to make people better through the situations that they may face through their lives.
So, how long have you been a part of each discourse community?
Uh, I've been coaching high school football now for, I want to say, 12 years, and I've been the assistant pastor at the Church of High Praise for 2 years, but I've been working in ministry for 5 years.
And so, what would you say this is what you were interested in when you did graduate from high school?
No. Um, Neither was something that I was interested in when I graduated high school. When I graduated high school, I had the dream, as every other kid. I wanted to be a NFL football player. That was my dream. I was going to be an NFL football player. And over the course of me trying to get back to playing football, an opportunity came up where I got a chance to go back and coach at my former high school, First Coast High School in Jacksonville, Florida. When I went back to First Coast High School in Jacksonville, Florida, that's when things kicked off with me being a coach. And I got the same love for the game and coaching as I did with playing, and it made me love coaching even the more. A year after I started coaching, I began to I began to find myself more and more at church, and then I began to work in ministry, and that's how I got involved into both of those uh, things.
So, first we'll go over you being an assistant pastor at the church. So, what are the common goals of you being an assistant pastor?
The common goals of me being assistant pastor at the church, um, first is developing people. Um, you want to develop people that are around you, that if you weren't there, that the job could carry on. Um, it will be times, and as times have passed, I mean, there have been leaders before me, and now they're not here anymore. They train the people that were coming behind them in such a manner that the church could still go on. So my job as the assistant pastor of the church is to train people that are coming up behind me, or people that are working alongside me, just in case if I were to die today, or if I were to move out of town or anything like that, they would be able to take my position, and there not be any drop off in the church. Also, too, you want to train people in a way, in a manner that way they can defeat the trials of life. And what I mean by the trials of life, I mean all of us go through different things in our lives. Some of us have financial trouble. Some of us have trouble with our spouses. Some have trouble with our kids. And I mean, you break down the Bible in a way where they can understand and figure out ways to defeat their situation, and not yield to their situation and give over to their situation, but find a way to overcome their situation, and even find peace also in their situation. Another thing that I do with the church is try to build the membership. Certain times you see different things that go on in ministry. You have to you have to be able to see something that's going wrong and then change it, so you can build the ministry up. I'll give you one example. When I me and my wife first moved to Orlando, my church was still singing out of hymn books, and there's nothing wrong with singing out of hymn books at all. But if you want to get a younger group of people, they're not going to come inside a church home where you're singing out of hymn books. I mean, they're used to Diedrich Haddon or Fred Hammond, somebody that's radical for Christ, jumping all over the place, gospel rap and things like that. And they come in your church and you're doing a hymn book. They're like, man, I don't want any part of that. So one of the things I did to grow the membership, since I've been here, we threw out the hymn books, and then we got a different flavor of music also too. Just things about timing. Sometimes people come to church and they want church to start at a certain time, so being more timely, starting church on time, ending church when we say we're going to end church. And also too, another thing we did to grow the membership, we began to add different ministries to the church. A dance ministry, a step team, we also added like a women's ministry and a men's ministry. And the more ministries that you can kind of add to your ministry without it kind of taking everybody and having them doing different things, but having everybody kind of do something a little different. Also, it helps to grow your membership where people can feel like they have something to do in the ministry. They have a sense of belonging in your ministry.
And so, who would you say are the members of this discourse community?
The members of the discourse community would be I guess, my pastor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my pastor would be one of the members of my discourse community. Manisha would be one of the members of my discourse community because she's a member of our church. My wife, my pastor's wife, and all the members of my church.
So, how would you say the hierarchy of the church is broken up, like top, bottom?
The hierarchy of the church is broken up from the pastor and his wife. They're kind of like co leaders, and then it comes down to me and my wife, and then the ministers that are under me, and then the deacons, uh, the ushers, and then the lay members. And the choir members somewhere in there too, but they by equal with the lay members. But you know what I mean. But it's so it would be the pastor, his wife, the assistant pastor, other ministers, deacons, choir members, lay members.
And so, what would you say are the common values of the members of the church?
I would say the common values of the members of the church is to live a successful life spiritually. Not just talk about it, but be about it. Um, I mean, in today's day and age, you have a lot of people that proclaim it but don't live it. So I would say that the goal of the church is to kind of get everybody to live what they're talking. Now, will people make mistakes? Yes. And we're not saying that no, people are not going to make mistakes, but to be more consistent in their living, and to not just in their living, but in every area of their lives, helping people to be more consistent.
And so, what's the purpose of the church?
The purpose of the church is to make the world in a little bit different light from what they may have been looking at it before.
Also, and then what are the mechanisms of intercommunication? So, basically, how do you guys communicate with each other? What y'all are going to do for the church, or how you guys want things run in the church?
Um, we communicate a lot through text messages, but we started here recently. We meet almost every month. Wife, my wife, and the church secretary. We meet. We kind of hash things out as far as what of that month. If we're going out to a different church or if somebody's ministering, we kind of have it already written out, so we'll kind of know what's going on, what are our goals. We also too, if we want to change things about service, how we're running service, we'll the church as far as Like right now, we're even like in the maybe in the midst of maybe changing some things about how we run the service. I mean, we've talked about it, and then it was like Pastor talked to me, and he said, "Well, bring me some ideas as far as how you fit, where we can have the break from where we're doing the the announcements, the offering, and it's something else that we do. So we're thinking about moving that part to the front, and then where we can just have service all the way through church, where in the service where you get kind of the slow stuff out of the way first, and then you just run through church smoothly. But in our next meeting that we have, those are the things that we'll hash out in the meeting, so that we can have a goal for the next month of what we're going to do for the rest of the year. Also, too, when we do this, we'll see how the offering has the offering changed from when we're taking the offering at the beginning to when we're taking the offering maybe now at the end of service. I mean, and if that is a huge difference, then we may even have to go back to what a trial and error almost, because you don't know what will work with your church. I mean, different things work for different churches or different ministries, so you have to kind of see what works for your ministry, and if it's something that works, you keep on with it.
And so, what type of information or feedback do the mechanisms that how you guys communicate provide?
Um, I would say that they I mean, you see how the people respond, because we don't know. I mean, if the idea that we put out there was something that will work. Like I asked the pastor about when I first got to the church about changing from hymn books to going to I mean, singing more kind of contemporary songs. I mean, we didn't know if it was going to work. It was something that was going to do trial and error. But since we have changed, we have seen an increase in the membership since we made that move. So, you mean that was something that it was trial and error, something that we would say, well, we'll put it into place. If it's good, if it's working, we'll keep it going. If it's not, we'll throw it out back to the drawing board. And that's how we do it. I mean, we'll look at the response of the people. If there are people who respond to it good, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going until we find something else. Hey, well, maybe we can change this. We'll meet, we'll discuss, come up with a new plan, put it in. If the people enjoy it and the people liking it, then we'll keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
So, the meetings that y'all do have, do you say you use these communications to sometimes change some things that you feel as if would increase the number of membership?
Yes, yes. I think that to me that's one of the ultimate goals. You mean increasing your membership? I mean, not just from not. I mean, I'm not saying that you want to take other people's church members, but you mean people in the world that are not saved, that are not going to church. I mean, you want them to come to your church and be there and see something that's exciting, something that will catch their attention. And if you get their attention, you can get them to come back. So if we see that something we are doing that is catching people attention, getting people to come back and saying, "Man, I want a little bit more of that. I want to see what was different. What was different about their church than somebody else's church." Then that's how we'll say, "Well, that's something we're going to keep. That's what we're going to do. Let's go."
So, when would you say, being a member of a church, when did you learn to voice your opinion and use these communications?
Mm, it kind of took me a while to begin to voice my opinion, and even now, even with holding the second position in the church, I still don't voice my opinion to me as much as I should, because sometimes I don't feel like it's my place, because I have a leader that's over me, and I feel like he hears from God, so I don't voice my opinion as much. I mean, a lot of times when I feel like things need to be changed, I pray about it and pray about it and pray about it until I feel like it's the right opportunity or the right moment to say something. And sometimes I begin to pray about things, and He'll change anyway from something that I maybe have not have liked in the church, or maybe something that I maybe not, I'm not going to say I didn't like, but maybe something I thought we could do better. So a lot of times I will pray and ask God rather, you know, rather not to say anything. But a lot of times I try not to say a lot. So I would say maybe within the last year or so, I have begin to be more vocal about things I think should change in the ministry, but not a whole lot.
So, what type of genres did you say you used as being a member of the church? Like the texts that are recognizable to readers and writers. So, basically, stuff that you, as a member of the higher part of the church, use to communicate with each other.
Text messages, um, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Right now, that's like the thing that's going. So man, if you can get connected in these things, and it's also free advertisement too. I mean, where you can get a message out to people. I mean, it's fast, it's quick, it's easy. I mean, you used to back in the old days, you had to send everybody a letter. I mean, call everybody on the road dial phone. But now, I mean, you just text a few numbers. I mean, the phone even spell check for you now. So you get it to spell check for you. I need spell check, but you get that phone to spell check for you, and man, you press send, and everybody in the church got the same message, spell check by Siri and everything. Good.
What role does each genre play in being able to effectively get the church out there? What purpose does it play to? Oh goodness! What purpose does it play to actually get more members into the church?
Um, I would say just just the different things that we do, the different avenues that we have. We also have like a fourth Saturday ministry where we feed the homeless, and we get a lot of people that come to the church from the thing with us feeding the homeless. I would also say our dance ministry, our youth dance ministry, to be exact. Man, we've had a few families join the church so their daughters could be in our youth dance ministry. Um, our women's ministry is really picking up and kicking off, and you have women excited, and are coming to church more now because they're in the women's ministry or part of the women's ministry. So those to me are the big three things that we do to get people that are been having people come to church for us.
And so, when do you say that you learned to use like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, texting, and all that to help with the church?
I would say I've been doing it from the beginning. Since I joined the church 3 years ago, I've been sending out text messages, Instagram, and pictures of our church services, and Facebook and pictures of our Facebook and messages of our church services, telling people the times and the things that we're doing. Because like I said, it's free advertisement. It's something that you don't have to pay for, and if somebody likes it, somebody that they see likes, I mean, somebody that they know or their friends would like it or see it. So it's just a way, man, that you can kind of get the word out to different people. So we've been using Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter since I've been a part of the church. I would like that if more members would use it. I mean, because I mean, you have one or two people doing it, but if you can get a whole church, hey, put on your Facebook, we're having church at this time. Man, you gonna get one or two people coming just from that. I mean, so I'm just one man, and I'm doing it. I know my wife does it, but if we can get more and more people involved with using this free advertisement, there's no telling where we can take the church.
So, what language or lexis would you say that the church uses to actually function and be prepared for Sunday and actually, you know, go through
What you mean,
service?
like those languages? Spanish, English?
No, like
Oh,
what do y'all use to communicate with each other? Do y'all have
um,
like a churchy language or
no, we don't. We
something?
don't have a
No
churchy.
acronyms,
No, we don't have
insiders.
no churchy language. No, I mean, when we get to church, it's pretty much a set schedule. We know what's going to go on during that service. If it's the first Sunday, we know that's the Sunday that we do communion. First Sunday we do communion. Second Sunday, the youth praise dancers dance. It's automatic. The adult praise dancers dance. Fourth Sunday is our dress down Sunday. That I like to get down, dress down Sunday. I don't have to wear my shirt and tie. Like I said, now if we change something about it, then things will change over the next few months. But as of right now, things are the same. So first Sunday communion, second Sunday children dance, third Sunday big people dance,
Big
fourth
people.
Sunday you have dress down Sunday, and that's when I try to dance.
Oh
No,
God. You're not Catholic. Who are currently the novices, which are experts who've been with the church for many years.
And have been with the church for many years.
Yeah, who's fresh? Who would you say are fresh, and who would you say are experts?
Manisha here is fresh to the church.
I'm not fresh. I've been with y'all for almost a year.
Almost here. She's still kind of. Um, we've had I would guess about 5 months of probably about 4 to 5 families to join the ministry. So you would say that they are fresh members to the church. For a while, we have I want to say about maybe 15 families that have been to the church a while. Some even have been there longer than me and my wife, and the church has been in existence for 10 years. So we've had about maybe 15 families that have been to the that have been in the ministry longer than not longer than but been in the ministry for a pretty good while.
So do you think it'll change over time? Like more families will come and be novices in the church, and then eventually stick with the church.
Yes, I really believe so. I mean, if we stay true to what we're doing, um, and I kind of look at everything in a spiritual sense and a natural sense. McDonald's not changing what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? If you get something that you're doing and it's working, keep on doing it. I mean, you take Krispy Kreme to just sell donuts, but somebody real smart got the idea, put the hot sign on the outside of the window when the donuts are hot, and now they're blowing up. I mean, that was just a simple idea, but it's something now that they keep doing that's bringing success to their business. So when you're working in a ministry or working in a church, you find something that you're doing and it's successful, or you find something that you're doing and it's bringing people to the ministry. Why change it? I mean, it's going to keep bringing people. It's going to keep adding revenue. It's going to keep a turnover going. So you just keep doing that, and the people will come. So that's what we're doing. I mean, not anything different, but just sticking to the ground rules that we've already set.
I guess we'll go into the funner part of the discourse
Oh,
community,
okay. Let's
coaching.
coaching. Okay.
So, what are the common goals of you as a coach?
The common goals of me as a coach, is to prepare young men, uh, for life, not just football, but to be men. I don't believe that I'm just supposed to train them and to get their bodies built and strong and fast, but I'm supposed to train them to one day be working young men in this society, where they're not robbing and killing and stealing from people, but they're working people of society, or they're giving back to their communities, being good fathers to their families, they're raising their children. So as a coach, to me, I'm trying to raise young men to be stay at home fathers. We mean so many times in today's world that we have uh, single parent homes, and the father is a person that is not there. So me as a coach, I try to raise the young men that I coach that are under my tutelage, to be that man that will stand in the gap for his family and be there when his family needs him, and not to run out when he's donated some semen.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you just said that.
He says it's the fun part.
So, what are the common values and purposes of being a coach?
Common values and purposes of being a coach, I would say, I mean, most people would say to win. I would say is to teach my kids to do the best that they can. I don't believe that just because you win, you have won the game, because you could have won the game and not put forth all of your effort, so you really didn't win. But you could have lost the game and put forth all the effort that you had, and I would consider you still to be a winner because you gave everything that you had. So the common goals for me as a coach is to teach my players to give all that they have, and once you put in your best foot forward, whatever results that came from that, I can accept that as a coach. So that is the common goal that I have as a coach, to teach my players to give all that they have.
And so, how do you communicate with your players? And like, where are you on the coaching ladder thing?
Coaching ladder thing. I would say that I am, uh, as of now. My head coach gave me and another coach an opportunity to make a playbook. So I would say that we're co-offensive coordinator. So I would be like maybe the head coach and then the defensive coordinator and me and the other guy that's working on the offense. We're right there. I mean, we're not there. We're co-coaches. So we're putting together a playbook. So we're pretty high on the totem pole right now. I mean, if my coach changed that tomorrow, then I'll be back on the bottom. But as of right now,
You on the top.
I'm not top, but
Kinda
if
top.
he sneezes,
Middle top.
I may be there.
So what type of communication do you use between each other?
Between me and the coaches, I mean the players.
You and the coaches.
Um, we use a lot of just I mean football stuff. Like you talking about just
Do y'all do meetings and stuff?
yeah, we meet. Yes, we meet. We meet sometime.
Do y'all meet after practice or
We meet.
before
We
the
meet.
boys
We
get
meet.
there?
Every day after practice, and we also meet before practice. And sometimes we'll meet on days that the kids are not practicing. We kind of put in a game plan. Saturdays watching film and things like that to put in a game plan. To see how can we attack a team to beat them. What are the best things that we can use uh, that will give our kids the best opportunity to win the game.
And so, how do you use the type of mechanisms like communicating with the coaches or communicating with your boys?
We really, me and the coaches, we use a lot of, we text, me and the offensive coordinator, we text message a lot. But there's a new thing out called Huddle, and what we've done now, we've put our playbook on Huddle, and all of the kids um, on the team have a Huddle account that's tagged to our school's name, and we have our playbook on Huddle. So they can go on the Huddle account and look at all the plays and all the formations that we run, and also they can go back and watch all the game film from last year. And when we start playing games this year, they can go back and watch all the game film. And this Huddle account is so amazing where the kids can also cut up their own game film and make their own highlight tapes without the help or assistance of anybody. They just find a little clip and cut it out of the video, and it builds them like a almost like a notebook of all their plays that they've been in. Without the help or the assistance of anybody else, and it's also easier for college coaches to go and look at their highlight tapes now. So it's easier for kids to get recruited now because the Huddle account, you go on there, you click a kid's name, and boom, all their highlights pop up.
So who found Huddle?
Uh,
Did you find Huddle?
man, if I would have found Huddle, Manisha wouldn't be in school right now. We'll be
I'm talking about, did you
we'll
find
be
the
Duck
app?
Dynasty and all. We'll be something. Jones Dynasty. We'll be
Oh
doing something. But
God.
what you saying?
I'm talking about, did you find the app for Huddle?
Yeah, it is a listen. Huddle, you know you big time when you got a app on iPhone. Huddle has an app on iPhone. I mean, Huddle is big time. Uh, I don't know if I found the app or not, or the app found me, but some kind of way it's on my cell phone. I have a Huddle app on my phone, and I can do the same things from my cell phone that I can do on the computer. Right there on Huddle app.
Oh God. So what genres are like the types of how you communicate with each other? How do you utilize that in order for the team to function?
What we've done this year, we've changed our formations into colors. Where I mean, if the kid hears this certain color, they know they're going into this formation. If they, I mean, no matter what color it is, and I think it's 5 or 6 basic colors. We have red, blue, yellow, green, black, white, and orange. The same formation as blue, but it's right and left. Green has the R in it, it's going to the right, and yellow has the left in it. It's the same formation, but just depicting which side the kids are going into, right and left. And also another thing that we do if we wanted to change something about the formation but still have the same formation look, we would say maybe yellow type or red type, and you mean the kids will be in the same, just maybe one or two things would be different in the offense. And we found that this right here, this type of way of communication, where the kids can read is this. It has helped us as an offense to move more fast and more efficiently when we're trying to do different things with our kids.
So when did you learn to use this effectively and learn the plays and be able to relay them to the
I would say, to me, the learning of the game came, I would say, maybe in my second or third year. I mean, I could always coach. Maybe in my second or third year, I started getting a better understanding of the things that were going on around me. I am the co-offensive running back coach by trade. That's my position. I even leave my wife for it, but that's
we can
but
hear you.
but that's my position, the running backs.
So what?
So what I started to do is, you mean if you're a running back coach, you got to know the offensive line play. So I started learning the offensive line and every blocking scheme that they had for the different plays that the running backs would have to run. And then I started learning the passing game, what was going on in the passing game. And this right here took time. It wasn't something that I learned overnight, but as I kept coaching and I continued to coach, I'm finding out that I'm learning more and more every year. I'm not come to a point where I feel like I know it all. I'm still in a point where I'm learning. I do feel like I've learned a lot, but I still feel like there's a lot more that I need to learn to perfect my craft as being a great coach.
Okay. And now, what type of lexis or language do you use for the team to actually function and succeed in winning games?
Boy, you better give me 50 push-ups right now. No, I'm just playing.
He's a
uh,
mean
we,
coach.
we try very very hard for positive reinforcements. My head coach, um, and the other coaches on my staff, we really try not to do a lot of negative reinforcement, but making sure, man, when a kid does something right, we tell them that they do something right, and when they do something wrong, also telling them when they do something wrong. But when they do something wrong, telling them, well, you did do that wrong, but you had a good step in there. I mean, so even when we're telling them that they're doing something wrong, also seeing something good in what they did wrong. Where I mean, you may have not gotten it all the way right, but you did go the right way. You blocked the wrong person, but you did go the right way. So it's well, you went the right way, but you blocked the wrong person. So we try to do a lot of positive reinforcements. Another thing too that my coach doesn't allow, and I thank God that he doesn't. We do not curse at our kids. I mean, we hold them to a high standard where we ask them not to use profanity, and we as a coaching staff we don't use profanity with our children. Now we do make them do push-ups and sit-ups and jump and run
That's still
laps.
profanity. Push up, sit up,
Yeah, push-ups and sit-ups
running.
for cursing. But we as a coaching staff we don't curse at our children. I'm not going to say I haven't heard a coach curse, but I don't curse at the kids at all.
Shouldn't curse at all.
I don't curse at all. When you heard me, all right, this is gonna be the last time y'all see her. All right, come on.
When and how did you learn to be able to give the boys positive and negative reinforcement without?
Um, I would think that came over time as maturing as a coach. Um, so many times you think that just jumping down a player's throat will get them to the point that you need them, but a lot of times when you jump down their throat, they lose focus. They can't play the next play, and this may be the star of your team. Now, coach, you just jump down their throat, you then grab their face mask, and then slap them across the head, and they out of the game for the next 5 plays, and those could have been the 5 plays that could have cost you the game or won you the game. But you took them out of the game more than their mistake did. But I think that with me came as a process of a coach as I began to grow as a coach. I realized, hey man, you can't jump down every player's throat when they mess up. Sometimes you got to learn how to love them a little bit or to talk to them a little bit softer. I mean, because everybody can't take being yelled at. You have some kids that's the other kids. If you yell at them,
They shut
they
down.
shut down. I mean, and they're not going to be any good for you or anybody else for the rest of the night. So as you mature as a coach, you'll find the kids that can take a little bit more pushing and the other kids that may need a little bit more loving. And I mean, and that just comes like with time as being a football coach.
And so, who would you say are currently the novices or experts at the coaching facility for the boys?
Um,
Would you would you
Bill
say?
Bill Belichick. I as I'm NFL. I can go anywhere. Anywhere. I
I'm
just
talking about in your discourse
okay.
community,
Well,
not
since
anywhere.
I'm just talking right now, Bill. Belichick, those are my two guys. I like the offensive coaches, but my head coach, I would say he would be like the head. Um, I think on our coaching staff, I've been coaching the second longest with 12 years, but my head coach, man, he was the head years. He also did a few coaching stints, coached a few times before then. He was the head coach at Boone High, coach at Haggerty for the past 2 years. So he would be the head honcho. And our wide receiver coach, I love him to death. Listen, I don't know what position our wide receiver coach. He anyway, he may be coaching the water boys for the before the season is over. But he's not he is, and he just started coaching. So I always he just a fresh coach, but he's a great young man, and he listens very well to when we may have tell him, hey man, you can get a little bit better in this area, and man, he writes everything down. Listen, you can tell him, I need you to run up the steps, come back down. He write it all down, so he makes sure he get every note that you give him. He's even written down a few of my pregame speeches. I say, man, you can't take my pregame speeches, but he writes down everything, and he's a very good friend of mine. But I mean, he's the pup on the staff.
The pup.
Yeah, pup.
So, how do you think it's changed over time?
Um, I would say that it has changed over time. Haggerty and Boone High School experiences. My head coach is a coach that has been coaching for 23 years. Um, he's kind of stuck in his ways. I hope this video does not get out and go anywhere but to you. But he's kind of stuck in his ways just a little bit. And this year, he let me and the coach get together to change the playbook. So I mean, he has changed. I mean, from 23 years to now, he let us change the playbook, and we was like, "Thank you, Jesus." We almost had like a come to Jesus meeting, a church meeting, because he let us change the playbook. And I talked to a few college coaches, and when they found out that he let us change the playbook, they was like, "Man, what you gave him? What you put something in his drink or something like that?" I was like, "No, coach, man, he let us change the playbook." So over time, I mean, with him being with us and us being with him, and we having a lot younger mindset. As a way of implementing things to the kids, he lets us go forth and put in our own playbook.
So, do you think it'll continue to change, or do you think he's going to be there for a while? Do you think it'll be a while before they pick another head coach for Haggerty?
Um, he talks about him maybe stepping down, but I don't see him stepping down. I think football is his life, so I think he'll be there for a while. You've been coaching for 23 years. I mean, we have to push him out like we did Bobby Bowden or something if we're gonna get if we're gonna get him off the field. So I don't want that in Orlando. No, we had that in Tallahassee already. But he's been coaching for 23 years. They may have to bury him.
Well, this has been the first part of my ENC 1101 interview, and this was just basically going into many discourse communities that he's a part of and going into how they communicate with each other and how their discourse community basically functions. Thank you.
Peace. We